Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you may be listening to us from across the globe. Welcome to another episode of The Doctors Are In, here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. This is Dax Carlisle. I'm a tarot advisor, numerologist, and life coach coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. And joining me, as always, my fabulous co-host on Fridays, certified life coach and spiritual teacher, Dr. Rose Wilkerson. She is coming to us live from Berkeley, California. Let's bring on Rose. Hey, Rose, it's been a little while.
Hey, it certainly has. How you doing, Dax?
Oh, much better now. Oh, my gosh, we had to cancel some shows and move some things around because, I was dealing with a cold for a solid 2 weeks at least. And it was like, no, it wasn't COVID. Everybody's like, oh, my God, yeah, the COVID. No, it was a, with the COVID thing, everybody is, so hyper aware with that you forget that, hello, people are out there. It's the middle of winter, people. People are out there getting normal sinus infections, sinus colds, head colds, the flu, stomach viruses. You name it, people are getting it. And, I had like a sinus cold is what it really was. I had, no fever, no body aches or chills, none of the flu symptoms, none of the COVID symptoms, just occasionally general malaise where I just didn't even want to get out of bed, which I didn't. And, had a scratchy throat for a while, which is not good for radio, and then that went away, thank God. But then I started getting the post-nasal drip and, all the fun nose stuff. And it was not fun. Not fun. Feeling much better now. I'm hoping I don't get a resurgence of it because sometimes it sneaks back on you, Rose.
Yeah, it can. It can. I've been there, so I sympathize. I really sympathize with you. Yeah. So
it's fun to be back on the air with you today, especially because there's like 5 Saturdays this month, so we're not doing Tarot Today Radio tomorrow. So this is, my only show. I think I'm going to be on the air until February because it's February already. How'd that happen, Rose?
I have no idea.
Woo. So for our first show back, we decided to do. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
No. Go ahead. It's not important. I'll say something later.
I'm just going to tell people how to call in and say, for our first show back, we decided, hey, let's just do an open line show, life coaching, tarot mini readings, numerology. We did a whole show on the world year number of 5 and our personal year cycles. If you want to know what your personal year number is, you can call in at 714-816-4628, and we can talk about that and what that means and so forth. Otherwise, go back and listen to our previous broadcast. PsychicTalk.net/Fridays is all our archive shows for Friday, and you can look up the show on the world year number and the numerology for the year and personal year numbers and find out about all of that, because it's great to know where you are in the 9-year cycle and where the entire world is in the 9-year cycle. We're in that 5 energy, adventurous energy. Yeah, a lot of high energy. You can get a lot done in a 5-year. And so, I can feel it already. It feels pretty exciting. So, open lines. You can call in. You can ask about anything you want. Now, so between Rose and I, we have, everything covered. So if you have questions about, You can call in for a mini reading. You can call in for your personal year number, life questions, career, love, all that stuff, But you could also ask just general questions. Maybe you want to know something about tarot. Maybe you have a burning question about how tarot works or some aspect of tarot or numerology or life coaching, hypnotherapy. Rose, you're getting your certification in hypnotherapy soon, right?
Yes, and also in a few months I'll be getting a certification as a meditation teacher. I'm excited about that. It starts this weekend.
That's right. Yes, along with keto and weight loss and all those kind of things as well. And
I'm just going all out. I might as well. I never do well when I'm just focused on one thing. I realize that now after nearing 50 years of age. It's best for me to, because I've been trying, you only have to focus on one thing, just one thing. But I just don't, it never works for me. Yeah.
Me neither. I am the same. Maybe that's why we get along so well, because I am the same kind of person. And it ends up taking me into almost paralysis, where it's like, what's the word for that? Like just procrastination beyond belief. We're so busy studying so many different modalities and things like that to help people. We never get around to actually doing it. It's ridiculous.
That's true. I mean, for our own business kind of thing. I totally feel you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something to be said about knowing a little bit about everything, but then you're not a master of anything. That's the problem.
That's what they say, but do you have to be a master? I mean, I think you can develop that over time.
Oh, well, nowadays it's so much easier to become a master in something really quickly. And if you're in the right frame of mind, there was that number, I can't think of it now, that was proposed by somebody a long while back about, 10,000 hours or something to mastery. And they've basically cut that in half now. And with the Internet, with the Internet, all the free information available on the Internet, YouTube is great. It's the second biggest search engine in the world next to Google. Of course, it's owned by Google, so naturally. And you can learn anything for free. You can take courses at Udemy really inexpensively. And, you could start a journey down a path, and in a matter of weeks, a lot more than anybody else, if not at a master level already. It doesn't take years. It takes weeks nowadays. It's unbelievable, just how it's sped up and everything like that. So yes, you can call in and ask us all about that. Maybe you're thinking about becoming a life coach for 2021. Hey, doing any business like that where you can do it on the phone, you can do it on a Zoom call, a Skype call, a Facebook video chat. It's wonderful for the circumstances, the day and age that we're in right now, even before COVID, but especially with the social distancing. And, you could do NLP via teleconference. You can do hypnosis via teleconference, life coaching, tarot reading, numerology. All this stuff can be done. And if you have questions about how to do that or anything, you can call in with questions about that as well. So we've got everything covered. You can also, of course, call in for a mini reading for some life coaching as well. Let me give the phone number out again. It's 714-816-4628. That's 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. We've been off the air for a while, so there may not be a whole lot of callers out there today. This may be the shortest show ever. Well, we have fun things to chat about. Yep. Right off the bat, I got the numerology and the card of the day. Also, I want to remind everybody that our shows on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, are all sponsored by the Tarot Guild, the International Organization for Tarot Lovers, Students, Professional Readers. Since 2004, we're in our 17th year now. Come and visit us on our website at thetarotguild.com. By the way, if you're really new, tarot is T-A-R-O-T, so it's thetarotguild.com. And we've got a fabulous website. We built it a little over a year ago now. We had a static website for a decade, and then the servers finally crapped out. We decided to, we have to get new servers and rebuild the website. We were like, let's go all out. So we built a social networking platform. It's not a website, really. It's a social networking platform, just like the other big social media sites out there, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, what have you, where you can have a profile on the website. You can friend each other. You can private message each other. There's a live chat room. There's forums. There's groups. Oh, my God. It's a whole platform. And, by the way, it's free to join. We call it our associate membership now. When you join the website for free, our associate membership to the Tarot Guild is free, and you get all of those wonderful features on the website. Adding friends and private messaging, live chat, groups, forums, activity feed, status updates like on Facebook. We have events. You get your own customizable profile. There's a certified readers directory on there and a whole lot more. Go over and check it out. You can go to thetarotguild.com/join and read about all of the different features and everything on the website and sign up for free right there. There's a button there, a link, or at the top of any page you'll see sign up. Just click that and boom, you're an associate member. We also have a professional membership, and this is for people that want a little bit more. You get all the free benefits that you get, all the features of being an associate member, but you also get your Tarot Guild membership certificate, discounted CTR Tarot Reader certification. Instead of $78 for non-members, it's $47. You get my Tarot and Numerology course for half price, access to our professional private members group, and a listing on our professional readers directory after you get certified. And we have 3 other levels of certification, 3 higher levels. You get discounts on all those. Featured reader video interviews. You get appearances as a guest on Tarot Today Radio or on this show, The Doctors Are In. Access to create groups, create events on the website, post articles on the website, and access to exclusive interviews, classes, workshops, and events that we do throughout the year. And we've discounted the price down now. It is now for 2021, and, I didn't plan this, Rose. I thought $39.99. We were doing $78, the number of cards in the tarot deck, and then renewals were $39.99. And I said, let's just make it across the board, new members and renewals, $39.99. And when I divided that by the 12 months in the year, it came out to $3.33 a month. That's the master number, the angel number 333, creativity and communication. I was like, oh, if that's not the universe winking at me that this was the right move to do, I don't know what is. Yeah. So come over and join our free associate membership, and if you want, become a professional member, Tarot Guild over at thetarotguild.com. You can also enroll in my course as well if you want to learn tarot and numerology over there. So, yeah, a lot going on the website. Let's see. How are we doing on callers here? We got some callers coming in, so we'll be going to the phone line shortly. Let me give out the phone number again, 714-816-4628. Write that down, folks. It's good for all of our shows all week long. and we have a chat post on our Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group for each show. And we use it like a chat room. So the comments on the post, if you're familiar with Facebook posts, there's a comment section below. That's our chat room, folks. Yep. And we made a simple URL that'll take you right over there. Just open a new tab in your browser, type in psychictalk.net. That's our website for the network. psychictalk.net/chat. And that'll take you right into the chat post. You can join me and Rose and Charlotte and everybody that's in there. And if you can't call into the show, you can ask your questions, make comments, ask for mini readings, life coaching right there on the chat post, psychictalk.net/chat. And that's good for all the shows as well. That same URL we just swap out for the next show with the next chat post. So write that down, the URL and the phone number, 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad so that we know you want to be live on air with us. If you're Skyping in, go to the Skype app, open up the dial pad, press 1. So we'll be going there shortly. And today is actually a day of abundance, Dr. Rose. The entire date, 1/29/2021. By the way, it's my dad's birthday. He turned 80 today.
Happy birthday.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, Dad.
Yep. And my mom was 9 days ago on the 20th of the month. And, that was right in the middle of when I wasn't feeling well, and completely skipped over the fact that her birthday, the 20th of January, is the anniversary of our first website for the Tarot Guild, our first radio broadcast ever in 2010.
Oh, wow.
January 20th, 2010, Tarot Today Radio. And a whole lot of other anniversaries land on that, right on her birthday, And it's Inauguration Day. I love it.
Lots going on that day.
Lots going on there, yeah. So the entire date, 1/29/2021, in numerology, what you would do is add all those numbers across. You'd get 17, and then you keep adding until you get to a single digit. So 1 + 7 is 8. 8 is the number of abundance in numerology. And the card of the day is the Empress, which is a card of abundance. It's also card number 3, creativity and communication, which I mentioned just a minute ago. And so, through your creativity and communication, creating abundance, that's what today is all about. You got that, the energy of 8 from the numerology and the Empress card. And in the Wade Smith version of the card, the Empress is lounging back on her lounge chair, which has like a red crimson cover, Rose. Basically, it's saying that that color red or crimson red is the color of passion. So she's backed up by her passions as she grows and creates, and that's where the abundance comes from, by following her passion. And then there's all the greenery, the lush fauna, all around her, and the trees and everything, and the plants, and showing the abundance and the growth. That's what that card is all about. Some other traditional things, fruitfulness, development, well-being, security, love, parenthood, maternal care, fertility, passion for life, the earth, nature is all part of that card there. I also wanted to mention the 29th. 2 + 9 is 11. 1 + 1 is 2. So it's a 2 energy day. But before that final reduction to 2, Rose, we get 11. That's the master illuminator number. And 2 is relationships and communication between people and partnerships and cooperation. And so if you put all this together, today is about creating abundance. It may be that you're going to teach a course, you're going to take a course, you're going to create something. That's what it's all about today. So there you go. What do you think, Rose?
Nice.
Numerology and tarot today.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Awesome sauce. So we're going to go to the phone calls, try to get a couple phone calls in before the bottom of the hour break. And Rose, you're going to bring the calls on. Where do you want to go first? Who's been waiting the longest?
Let's go ahead and do the calls, I think. Well, let's take one call. Does that sound good?
That's what I said. Yeah, we're taking calls. I just said, which call are you going with? bring on the first caller that's been waiting the longest. Yeah.
I totally misunderstood it. I thought you were saying
Rose needs more coffee, folks. She's in a fog right now.
That's funny because I have not had my coffee. I forgot that this morning. So
see, I told you. Two things you need when you do radio. There's two things you need. You need a bottle of water because you do a lot of talking, right? So you got to be sipping that water, and you got to have a cup of coffee or 2 or 7.
I know. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. By the time I realized it was like 5 minutes before the show started. I was like, oh, well, I'll just have to go without. How do you know me so well, Dax? All right. So we're going to go with the caller who's been holding the longest. And that person looks like Charlotte is on the line with us. Hey, Char.
Hello, my friends. Good to have you back on the air.
It's been a while.
Charlotte's been with us a few times. She's our biggest fan, we'll say. We may be her biggest fan, I'm not sure, but she's our biggest fan.
That's right.
And
I love you guys.
With us, right?
Yeah.
Dax, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you even do the show? Go ahead, Dax.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. I couldn't quite hear what everyone was saying for a second there because I had a wind gust. I'm out on the patio and it's gorgeous today, but man, the wind, it was perfectly calm. And then of course the show starts and then it gets windy. It happens every time. It's ridiculous. But I was going to mention that. For those that don't know, Charlotte was a host on the network, been Charlotte a couple years back, and you took a hiatus.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah, but she's getting her feet wet again. In December, she filled in for Dr. Rose, who had to do some of her, end of the term work, with her classes that she teaches, and so it's like, hey, let's get Charlotte to fill in. And oh my God, that was such a great show. We had so much fun.
That's good.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, we were like, I was talking to Rose the other day, and I said, hey, we need to fill in some shows for February. And I said, hey, why don't we ask Charlotte to come on as a guest? So, not just as a fill-in co-host, but be our special guest on the show. And so she's going to be on, was it Friday the 26th of February?
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. So, Charlotte, let us know how you're doing and what you wanted to talk about.
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm, just unlike Dax, I am not sitting outside on the patio because I've got about 8 inches of snow in my yard. And but today's a weird energy day, man. I was talking to somebody earlier, telling them I wanted to punch somebody really hard, and and then I decided maybe I should just ban myself from watching the news and news clips and anything political because it was fueling the flame of anger and disgust and frustration.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of. Go ahead.
So I decided to pull a card, and just for the heck of it, and I was looking for inspiration, so I pulled it out of my Super Attractor deck by Gabrielle Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
which is, they're a little bit different than, your typical oracle or tarot decks in that they are just a lot of really positive affirmation kind of deals. But the card I picked was, I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe. I was like, oh, that's perfect, because my question, as I was shuffling was, what's going to help me with this? Because I don't like feeling that way. I don't like that feeling of frustration and anxiety, and I don't like it at all. Because because it can influence the way you treat other people, and I always try to treat people with kindness,
Yeah.
And when you feel this way, it's almost like you walk out the door looking for a fight. Go ahead. Give me a reason. Give me a reason to get upset with you. Kind of deal.
Yeah, that's, that's one of the things, the couple of things going on with that. And number one is that, in the U.S. has been going through some really turbulent times, especially within this month, within the past couple of months. You have the pandemic, you have the political craziness that's going on, the assault on the Capitol building in D.C. I mean, it's gotten so out of hand in a lot of ways. And so obviously they're, investigating, and you hear all these reports and things of that nature. And it's turbulent times. Like, even when you are not, really paying attention, or you're kind of, pulling back from that, there's just that sense, that aura sometimes, especially if you're out and about. You can feel almost the tension in the air. And, and then also there's the media, because the media can really hype things up. It keeps you kind of like in a fighting mode. What else is happening? What else is going on? Let me switch to the channel. And, it's one of those kind of,
Who else
I think Charlotte had the right idea, ban yourself from news and news feeds online and everything.
Yeah, and it's okay to do that. Go ahead, Charlotte. I'm sorry.
Well, at least for a few days, and then limit yourself to maybe 5 minutes or something, because it's just, even locally, I ran across an article from my hometown, only to read that, and I don't want to turn this into a whole political show, but COVID money got spent on, and if anybody from this town is listening, which I kind of doubt, they spent it on a tubing hill.
A what?
Tubing, where you go sledding, and they have a tow rope, and they tow you up to the... Yeah, that's what they spent COVID money on.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
And
Charlotte,
see, and
Charlotte, let me break in and ask a couple of questions, because while you're chatting, I can do some numerology, and I'm already pulling some cards on it. So is that the main thing that you wanted to punch the wall, or was there other stuff going on, or?
No, that actually came after I was chatting with the person. I'm just like,
oh, okay.
One more thing. I know, and I mean, there are some good things that came from it, in that, it does give the local kids a place to go if you can afford it, which I guess it's quite pricey. And it was already a hill that people used to go out and tube on for free anyway.
Yeah, but now we can charge. Oh, Jesus.
And
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and they
when I was a kid, you didn't get charged to go sledding. You didn't get charged.
Well,
I'm just saying.
They do have a rope. They do have a rope tow, and they do have snowmakers and stuff like that. But it's something that can only be used, a few months out of the year. And
right.
Where this area is predominantly oil and gas, that's where the jobs are based off of, and we're in a serious depression with that right now because, it's oil shale. So, more expensive to get out of the ground. So when gas prices go down, this place turns into a ghost town because when gas prices are down, they can't afford to, it's too expensive to extract it out here. So we've got the double whammy, COVID and, the cheaper oil and gas prices. So it just, like I said, I can see both sides of it. And I will clarify that I have not read the entire document. In fact, I haven't read the whole, COVID, the rules on getting that money and what you can use that money for, et cetera.
Right.
But, in the meantime, I do know that businesses have gone
that's
under. And
Interestingly enough, that's coming up in the cards. I'll explain that in a second here. First of all, what month were you born?
In April.
April, so that's 4, and what day?
The 25th.
T5. Oh, 7. No wonder you're into all that spirituality stuff. 7's the number for that kind of stuff here. So, no, I just wanted to see where you are in your personal year cycle. And you're actually in a 7-year, which is in alignment with that 7 energy we were just talking about. This is really the year for you to connect to all of that stuff. And your psychic and intuitive ability, dreams, and you could have a lot of interesting experiences. It's also, studying those things, teaching those things, research. It's a great year. And then with it being the world year of 5, you have all that 5 energy to really be able to get things done, So I just wanted to take a look at that. But interestingly enough, what you were talking about earlier, just a minute ago, it's coming up in the cards about striking a balance. And
really?
The Justice card shows up, which talks about harmony and balance and equanimity. It's the same feeling that I get with the Temperance card. It's stronger with the Temperance card, but it's similar enough, where I call it the Temprian path. It's following the Temprian path. And the way I got to do a whole show on that, Rose. The Temperance card, what Temprianism is, what the Temprian path is. Basically, Temprian is an old English term that's not used anymore. You can't even find it in the dictionaries. You have to look in an old collegiate dictionary to find it, and it's from the same root word as temperance. It's from the same root word as to temper steel, or having a bad temper like someone is today. And it's
nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
I think the root word is tempriere, and so this word temprian, which is a better descriptor than the word temperance for the Temperance card in tarot. Actually, that's how I discovered it, because when I was first studying tarot many decades ago, which we don't want to say how old I am, but I've been doing this a long time, and I came across the Temperance card. It was actually one of the first cards I was drawn to, Temperance and the Magician, and I've talked about that on the shows before, and of course the Lover's card, and my birth pair is the Lover's card and the Devil card. And so those 4 cards, if I get a new tarot deck or look into different decks that are out there, I pull those 4 cards first: the Magician, the Lover's card, Temperance, and the Devil card. But back to Temperance, I looked at Temperance and I said, the essence of this card is a balance. And it's the marrying of opposites. It is not temperance, because when you think of the term temperance, even 100 years later, we still think of the temperance movement. We think of prohibition, and that's an extreme. That's not the middle. That's an extreme. You got the alcoholics on one side is an extreme, and then the other extreme is complete abstinence, right? So
right.
So it didn't work for me. So I started studying up on the word temperance and got to the root of temperance, and somehow I came along. I noticed discovered Temprian, and when I read the description of it, the middle path between two extremes, I was like, aha, this is a better word. And then I started looking at it as a principle to be applied. So basically how it works is, and I'll give you the short one, and we'll do a whole show on this, Rose. It's these are like the life lessons that you can learn from the tarot. Like the Wheel of Fortune has one, the Magician has one, which we've already actually gone over when we did the whole cross of manifestation with the Magician card and the 4 aces, which is basically law of attraction, the 4 steps. All of this is in the tarot, but most people don't know that. They just think of it, you pull cards and, you read your future kind of thing. But that's not really, that's something you can do, but it's not the essence of tarot from my perspective, especially coming to it. I was a numerologist before I came to tarot. And the essence of it, especially in your case, Charlotte, is when you feel drawn to an extreme, to one pole or the other pole. Let's say I got the negative pole on this side and you got the positive pole on the far right side. What you want to do is bring yourself back to the middle so that you can have perspective and look at both sides of a situation, because what you'll always find is the truth is in the middle, that I don't care what it is. I have spent the last 20 years applying the Temprian Principle to anything and everything that comes up. Social-political events happening, 9/11, you name it. I have applied the Temprian Principle and following the Temprian path, and it always holds true. It has not failed yet, where the truth of a situation is always in the middle. So when you're at the polls, you have confirmation bias, where you've let's say, try to think of a good example. So, okay, creationism versus Darwinism, versus my mind just blanked, Rose. Evolution.
But
okay, so evolution.
Evolution.
So evolution. Yeah. So evolution would be one far pole, and way on the other side is the opposite. Not the opposite, but almost the opposite. Creationism. And when you're at one of those poles, when you come from the presupposed idea that I'm a scientist, I believe in evolution, everything that you examine, your subconscious mind, putting on my hypnotherapist hat for a second, the subconscious mind is designed for this. There's something called the reticular activating system, where our conscious mind programs our subconscious, because it's much more powerful. And while we're doing whatever we're doing in our day, going to Starbucks and getting our latte, our subconscious mind is using the reticular activating system to scan the hundreds of millions of bits of information coming in, looking for information to help you with whatever it is that you've programmed it to do. But it can also work in the negative, where it will look for things to confirm your position, you see. And then if you're on the creationist side, same thing. You'll study things even in a scientific way, and the evidence that you discover supports creationism to you. And on the other side of the pole, hard scientists believing in evolution. Remember, evolution's a theory. Yes, evolution, they know parts of evolution does really happen. You can't say that there's not evolution, but it's still a theory as far as the overall everything of how life was created and developed. So coming as a hard scientist, you have a predisposition, a confirmation bias, where everything that you study, you're going to block out evidence to the contrary, and you're going to have all this evidence that is going to support the side of the pole that you're on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the applying the Temprian Principle, you bring yourself to the middle, and you look at both sides, and then you're able to see, okay, this side's right about this, but wrong about that. This side over here is right about this, but wrong about that. And then you're able to come to the truth, because it's always in the center. And so applying that to your situation now is you have your predisposition, and you're being drawn into that. You need to bring yourself into a more balanced, harmonious state with the Justice card, and be able to look at it all. And that requires stepping back. So that's going to require, like you said, well, maybe not forever, but take a 4-day break where you don't turn on the television, the boob tube, you don't turn on the news, you don't go online, Facebook, news apps, you just don't do it for a while, right? Because the very first card I get is the Knight of Wands, and he's on the far left, and he's moving towards and looking towards the left into the past, okay? And it's that fire element, which is passion. So you are passionate about these things, and you have a certain confirmation bias going on because you have a certain concept, and you're looking into the past. But you got to remember, we're in a whole new year with a whole new administration in the government. Everything's new. The possibilities are endless. And so time to bring yourself to the middle. And like you said, you haven't read all the documentation yet, okay? So read all the documentation on the other side. And, take a little break, then go back to, reading both sides, and then come to a conclusion. You're going to find out that they got it right a little bit on this poll, and they got some things wrong. And then on the other side, they got some things right, and they got some things wrong. Folks, this is why I am registered independent,
Exactly.
Because there's craziness on either side, and there's good things on either side. But if we attach ourselves to one ideology, we are closing off. We're not open-minded to, the positive things that are coming out from the other side. You see, so it's really fascinating. I know I went a little bit long on this, but it's because this is hint, folks. This is not just for Charlotte. This is for everybody out there listening. You can apply the Temprian Principle to absolutely everything in your life and everything outside your life in the greater sphere of I don't care what's going on in the world or politics or whatever. It can be applied to absolutely everything. What do you think, Charlotte?
I think you're exactly right. And that's why when this card turned up, when it did, I thought it was so perfect, about having unwavering faith in the universe. And, as with anything, you can draw these cards and you can get, messages from there and from the angels, but you've got to do your due diligence as well. You've got to do your side of the equation, which is exactly what I believe you're talking about. Is
right.
But
by the way, the spread I got Okay, so like the very next card next to the Knight of Wands is the Moon card. And what it's actually showing in these 5 cards is a progression. So, where are you right now? Well, you're the Knight of Wands, and you're looking into the past, okay? And you're passionate, and you need to step back from it all for a while, and then bring yourself into balance and harmony with the Justice card, and be able to look at everything through the Temprian Principal. The very next card is that Moon card, which is card 18. 1 + 8 is 9. 9 is completion. It's the end of the cycle. It's letting go of things. And so you need to go through a process of letting go. So you're letting go of the baggage and the way things have been the last 4 years, and looking to the positive future, and letting go of the anger and everything like that, so that you can have a better perspective, you see. And then if you're able to do that and create a structure, because the very next card is the 4 of Wands, structure, then you're going to be able to move forward. And I just reshuffled and pulled one last card for you. I got the Judgment card. Okay, so this whole thing is an awakening for you. This is a cosmic wake-up call. We're already coming into February, and I know it's still early. We still have the rest of the year, but don't let it slip by. I even feel it slipping by right now already. And so it's a wake-up call from the universe. It's basically, the hand comes out of the cloud with a wet mackerel and slaps Charlotte across the face. Wake up. Okay? It's a big cosmic wake-up call. It's a spiritual calling, a call to transformation. And so that's how you should look at all of this. This situation you had today, and you want to punch the wall or punch somebody or something, don't hit the cow and knock him over. Anyway, what it really is it's a symptom. It's a symptom of this overall thing that you're going through right now. And remember, this started back in late November into December, where you really took that turn. You came in on the radio show, filled in for Dr. Rose, did wonderful readings on air for people, which you're going to get to do again on February 26th. Cheap, shameless plug there. And
so excited.
And you need to keep your focus on, keep your eye on the ball. You got to keep your focus on what you want to create and your goals you want to hit this year, and don't let any of this other stuff take you off track. Does that make sense, Rose?
It does to me. I mean, I think Charlotte, you deal with crystals, and you may want to find a crystal that can help ground you and pull that energy out of you and into the earth, where it can be recycled for good, in a sense. That's a general spiritual way of explaining things, but basically to help find your footing. A lot of what happens is that it's a lot of distraction. I'm not saying that things aren't happening or things aren't real. I don't mean it that way. I'm just that especially when you're dealing with media, there's a lot of distraction, and it can take you off of your course, your path. And what you want to do is to say, okay, I recognize that what I'm doing right here or how I'm feeling is really distracting me from my life purpose. I mean, you've talked about, having your crystal business and wanting to grow it. And, I think we last talked about when you were on the air with me about, I think I asked you about having a crystal as like your crystal totem for your business or something,
Yeah.
Stay on that path. And I think whatever crystal you've chosen or crystals that you've chosen for that, that's something to go to and to say, look, this is a distraction. I know there's a lot of stuff going on and some things that I want to be watchful about just for being a citizen in the, country that you're living in. But you don't need to be drawn into the drama part of it,
Yeah, and that's the hard part, because it seems like everybody just wants to, they're so, it's like everyone else is just that's the frustrating thing for me too. It's like they don't even want to give, the new president a chance. Everything he does, dividing the country.
But
and I'm
Charlotte, this is something that's been going on for a long time in this country. It's not new.
Yeah.
I think
I know.
And
I saw it happen with Trump too. So.
Right. For many people in this country for the past 4 years, we've been building into this kind of explosion that has happened this month, right in the new year. Right way to start off the new year, by the way. and so it's kind of like, I think of it. I know this is not a very an image that most people want to think of, but you think of it like a pimple. There's an infection, and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing, and then finally it comes to where it pops out. And it's like, ew, yuck, oh, look at the mess that's everywhere. Everywhere is messy and everything is blah, 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 But again, that's just a part of what is, what has had to take place is that this pressure has been building up, especially up to, November, the election, and what happened afterwards, and then the new president, and boom, it's just like, bah, people kind of lose. But the media plays into that.
I was just gonna jump in and say, that's why we need something like the Temprian Path and the Temprian Principal more than ever now, because we are so divisive, and we're pushing way, to the polls, and we need to come back to the center where we're all Americans again, and it can only be done by following the Temprian Path and drawing yourself into the middle and analyzing from, in the gook. But anyway, we got to move on. Oh my God. I hope that helped you out, Charlotte.
This last thing. Hold on.
Right.
Let me just say this last thing. The way that I think of it is that we are the holders of the light, and we are here to try to help people, to grow, to help people to evolve spiritually, to make a difference in their lives. And there's going to be stuff that's going to, it's like holding a torch in the middle of a dark tunnel sometimes. But and this is just my advice to you, Charlotte, and to others out there. Be the holder of the light. Do not get swept up into all the dramatics of what's happening, because people need us out there. There are people who do not have the skills, the tools, the knowledge, and what have you that we do. We know that we can bring ourselves back from these different emotions and stuff like that, but many people out there don't know about that. So be the holder of the light and hold that light for people who want to learn, who want to, evolve and things of that nature. That's my advice.
Is there a chant for that, Dr. Rose?
Is there a what?
Chant for that. We haven't had a chant for a while.
Oh, Om is a good one. That's a real good mantra, Om. And that will talk about bringing you to the center and connecting you with, the higher consciousness. Om is the best mantra for that, and that will bring you to a stillness so that you're not caught up in the, hurricane winds that we have going on these days.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You can be the calm in the middle of the storm. That's what I mean.
Thank you. And it's an easy one too.
Well, Charlotte, I'm sure we'll talk to you before the 26th, but if not, we'll definitely be having you on the air for a whole show, and we can talk.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll bring along a crystal guest and introduce us to a crystal. And Charlotte, in addition to being a reader, is also a crystal keeper, a rock hound, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to it.
It is. I'm really looking forward to it.
All righty.
You too.
Bye for now.
All righty.
See you too. Love you so much.
Bye-bye.
So before we take another call, we got area code 509 coming up, followed by 850. So everybody, if you're in the queue, hold your spot. We're coming to you next. But we, blew way past the bottom of the hour. And so can you tell us the upcoming shows on the network before we go to the next call?
Absolutely. So tomorrow, all of our shows start at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow, we typically have a Tarot Today radio show, but host Mary Brown and Dax Carlisle will be off until the day before Valentine's, which is February 13th. So they're going to be on break. The show won't be on tomorrow. But on Monday, we have Wisdom of the Soul by Janice Fuchs. And on Wednesday, we have Compassionate Light, Healing and Guidance by Catherine Hahn. And she's doing Your Calls for Guidance. Sounds great. And then next Friday, we have the Doctors Are In show with yours truly and Dax Carlisle. And it's going to be on setting your 2021 goals. Now, folks, usually we do this in January. January has been quite the interesting month for us. But, you know, it's never too late to focus on your goals, to have your goals for the rest of the year. It's only the first month of January, so we'll be talking about how to set your 2021 goals and put them into action as well, you know, both spiritually and just physical action as well. So we hope to see you next Friday. And that's all I have for our upcoming week.
That's our upcoming week. You know, you can catch all the shows by going to our upcoming shows page. And interestingly enough, it's psychictalk.net/upcoming. And I actually have the shows. I got the shows all the way through February 28th, all the way through the end of the month. So you can see everything coming out. We got some great stuff, you know, and I know that there's a rock for that show. She's doing love crystals, and her crystal guest is, I don't even know how to say that, rhodonite, something like that. And we've got some other stuff, too, because, you know, we got Valentine's Day coming up on the 14th. And so our show on the 12th, we're going to do Finding Your Soulmate. Then on Saturday on Tarot Today Radio on the 13th, Mary and I are doing love and relationship-themed decks, spreads, and more for Valentine's Day. And then on Valentine's Day, February 14th, Sharona Rapsik has her Magic Universe show, and she's going to be doing love magic along with open lines, angel reiki, and free tarot readings all show long. We got some great stuff coming up here. We'll have another open line show on the 19th, and as we've mentioned several times now, Charlotte Klarberg, our special guest, along with open lines on February the 26th. So I just wanted to mention some of that great stuff coming up. You can check it all out at psychictalk.net/upcoming and on the Tarot Guild website, too. I got a lot of them listed on events on the Tarot Guild website. All righty. Cool. Yes.
All right. So now let me go back to our callers. And
back to the callers.
Back to the callers. That's what we're here for. And let's see, I'm going to bring on our caller from area code 509. Area code 509. Hi, give us your name and let us know where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Erica, and I'm calling from Washington State.
Ah, hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Erica.
Hi.
So, Erica, before you...
Erica? Oh, go ahead.
Let me jump in for just a second. I want to do, because it's the beginning of the year, I like to do people's personal years when we bring them on. So before we get into your question, Erica, can you tell me the month you were born and the date you were born on?
12/4/93.
12/4/1993?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
And then we're gonna calculate out your personal year number. You're in a 3 personal year, and you are a master number 11 2 life path. You are the master illuminator, and a 4 attitude. You got the same. No, 7 attitude. You got a 7 attitude. Oh, okay. I was looking in the wrong spot. So that's awesome. So 7, you're naturally drawn to these kind of topics because of that 7 energy. And then with the 11/2, they're the great mediators of the world and therapists and counselors. And it's about relationships and cooperation and partnerships, and with that 11 energy, the Master Illuminator number, you're supposed to be teaching the higher concepts to other people. If you work the energy to its highest, and, if you don't, that's okay too, and it just drops down to the 2 energy, which is great energy too, but you have a higher calling as a master number. I'm like, as an example, I'm a 33/6, so I have that 6 energy, the nurturer, but before the final reduction is 33, the master teacher, master healer number. That's why I do all these healing type modalities and things like that. So I just wanted to get that out there. And then you are in a 3 personal year, and 3 is creativity and communication. So it's time to create and communicate in a 3 personal year. Start that book you've been meaning to write, or that creative project you've been dreaming about. How you communicate this year will be front and center. Now, on the flip side of that, people in a 3 personal year can sometimes get a little dramatic, gossipy, and if you're helping people, you help people at your own peril in a 3 year. I'm just going to say that. In a 3 year, it's about bringing joy to everything you do, and you got to really keep a sense of humor 3 year. So there's just a little information for you here in the beginning of the year. And what did you want to chat about, Erica? Do you have a question or comment, or just want to chat about something?
Yeah, I had a question. Recently, yesterday my puppy died from parvo, and I don't know if you guys were also able to channel any messages or just do tarot, but I just felt really, really sad for her. I took her to the vet, and I was caring for her. I just sometimes I would even forget to eat myself. I hardly slept. It was like a baby, and she didn't make it. So that was very breaking that she passed. An hour after.
Sorry to hear that. Back in the day on the network, we actually had a couple of pet psychics, and I used to love it, Dr. Rose, because I would say, you got to talk to so-and-so, our pet psychic, on Sundays, because, they actually literally connect, directly like that. I only do tarot and numerology, but, what's coming through right away is inner wisdom and emotional intelligence and intuition and psychic ability. The Queen of Cups and the High Priestess card are the first 2 cards that show up, and they're both about that. So it's a really strong message that you need to connect with that side of yourself if you haven't already, or focus on it even more. Your intuition, your gut instincts, your psychic ability, and being open. And when you do that, when people pass, when the pets pass, they're still there, so you're going to be able to connect with their energy. And they're spirit's always communicating with us. It's just whether we can focus in on it or not, and see what messages are coming through. But you don't want to spiral down to end of this, because it can spiral like that. And just like with Charlotte, the Justice card shows up talking about striking that harmony and balance. Make sure you've got balance going on in your life. There, believe it or not, I know this is going to sound crazy, but believe it or not, there are unseen opportunities embedded in this situation. And it will get better for you, definitely. But the 4 of Cups shows up where, the person in the card is focused on what's before them, and they're not happy with it, but they don't realize that a 4th cup is being offered them to their right that they're not seeing. It's like a hand coming out of a cloud with another cup. And cups are about emotions, okay? So there's an opportunity here. And honestly, we're on a radio show. I got 2 minutes with you. I can't get too detailed. I'd have to pull a lot more cards. But basically, be on the lookout for that, for the positives that can come out of this. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah, it does. And
okay,
I was thinking about the situation.
I can't hear you, hon. Rose, are you getting that? She sounded like she went off distant or something. I can barely hear her.
It's because I had you on the speaker phone, but
okay, now I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, when this happened, I immediately thought, like, I need to do something because, like, I found 2 groups, like, volunteer groups. It's called a Pet Rescue Volunteer Group. They're called, like, Charles Chance or something like that. And I just felt like, wow, like, I need to do something for other pets. And I was thinking, like, maybe doing, like, little stands of, like, free parvo shots for your puppy, and this organization, they take your puppy, like, if you're not able to care for him or pay the big expensive vet bill, they will take the dog. And I thought, like, well, if I can't really care for her, and I took her to the vet, and I had IVs and everything, but I noticed she was doing well, and then all of a sudden, like, the next day, she was doing horrible. And I had made the decision, I'm just going to give her to this organization, and they're going to, like, I'd rather her get a chance to live and have her professional care at the vet, and then somebody else will adopt her and give her a good life. So I made that decision. But then an hour after the vet, she passed away. And,
right. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Dax.
So let me just finish up by saying that, this information that's coming through the cards is just confirming what's going on. And so, right next to the 4 of Cups is the Ace of Wands, which is a new opportunity coming in, along with the 4 of Cups where there's that opportunity being, offered. And then I talked before about the last card, it's Justice, finding that harmony and balance in a bad situation, kind of thing. And you're doing all the right things. This is exactly what that means, and, creating part of awareness, making other people aware, and, the thing with the shots and everything, that's exactly what you need to be doing. What were you going to say, Rose?
Because
anything?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, my heart goes out to you because I have lost many, many pets, and it's never an easy thing to go through. It doesn't matter how many pets there are. Just to let you know, I've had a number of pets over the years, so not that I'm killing them off or anything like that. But it's always hard, and, you're always going to have those emotions. But the one thing that I always say is that, you and others were there to give your puppy as much love and support as you could, while he was living. And I think that's the most important thing. We can't always control death sometimes, when it happens or how it happens. But all you can do is just, it's like having relationships, is to have the best kind of relationship and the best care for any being that is suffering. So that's all I want to say.
Yeah. And because of this happened, like, I just feel like there has to be something that I can do. Like you said, I'm really good at mobilizing. I'm really good at organizing and doing something. So I thought, if I can help other puppies that might be in the same situation, I feel like this has been an experience to where I learned. I've never dealt with a puppy with parvo or anything like that. So I just thought, like, I need to do something. But at the same time,
oh, did we lose Erica? Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
You cut out for a second.
Oh,
yeah.
I just think, she's in heaven. She's blessed, and although she's not physically here anymore, I know that she's in a good place and she's taken care of. So that's comforting.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, thanks for the call, Erica. I hope that helped you out.
Yeah, I think the cards really pulled a lot of what I was going, thinking and what happened. But thank you for the help.
No, you're very welcome, and you take care.
You too.
We
Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And feel free to come and visit us again, when you
We'll
wish.
be here.
So, yeah, we will be here Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific. Okay. So we have one more call. So it's with the area code 850. Are you ready, Dax? Did you want to go ahead and?
We're all set. Yeah.
Okay, great. Just checking in with you. So, caller from area code 850. We see that you have your hand up. Welcome to the show. Please give us your name and let us know where you're calling from.
My name is Michelle, and I'm calling from Florida, and thank you for taking my call.
Michelle,
Hey,
where
Michelle.
are you calling from? I didn't quite get that.
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Florida.
Welcome to the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle, let's do your personal year number.
The year I was born?
Well, no, give me your month that you were born first.
October.
And your date.
And the date that I was born, the 14th.
Okay, October 14th.
14th.
Gotcha. And then we're going to add in the personal year number, the world year number from 2021, which is 5, and see where you're at. Oh, you're a 2. You're in a 2 personal year right now. And most numerologists don't mention if a master number comes up, but I tend to anyway, because before the final reduction, it was 11, and then 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, so this is a big year for you. This is the Master Illuminator year. And 2, basically it's choices. You're going to choose what you love and cultivate harmony in your life, home, and relationships in a 2 year. It's a good year to bring in new relationships or spice up current ones. Both psychic sense and intuition are really your ally this year, which actually we had with that previous caller. It's like that's what you should be getting in touch with. It's a year of keeping your balance, and maybe that's why the balance cards keep coming up, Rose. It's a year of keeping your balance, and you might find yourself assisting in some form of mediation or negotiating a situation because you're a good listener and people want to talk to you. It's a good year to keep a gratitude journal and, write 5 things to be grateful for each day. Sometimes you can feel a bit more sensitive in a 2 year, and in a 2 year, sometimes when people in a personal year of 2, they can get a little clingy or even codependent in a 2 year. Basically, fall in love with yourself this year, and above all, listen to your intuition in a 2 year. So there you go, a little bit what's going on in 2021 for you. And did you have a burning question for us?
Well, I'm kind of stuck in a situation, and I don't know which way to go. My daughter is in her mother-in-law. My daughter and her husband are living with the mother-in-law, and she's just psycho, and she's controlling towards her son, who my daughter is married to her son, and the son is mentally handicapped. He's not all there. He's slow. But he's not that slow, but he is slow. And so, but he doesn't realize that he's being abused from the mother too, because the mother's trying to turn the son against the mother and keep him at home. Well, my daughter's got 3 kids, and they need their own place. So I convinced my daughter to leave, and she wanted to leave and get help through the shelter, because I told her, we're wanting to move on with our life and sell our house. And, our house is not big enough for you and the 3 kids. So she was willing to go to the shelter, but her husband, Camden, her husband is wanting to convince her to stay there in the town where the mother's at, because he's got a job, but the job only lasts maybe a couple of weeks, and he gets, and they think they're going to rent a house up there, that somebody's going to rent him a house, and he doesn't want to go to the shelter. But he wants out of the house too, but he doesn't want to go to the shelter. He thinks he's going to be able to make enough money to get this house, but I don't think he's mentally not there to sustain a job full time. He can work full time, but he just can't. And she loves him, and they have been back and forth. But the problem is he is such a follower. He listens to everybody, but all the bad influences. And she knows that if she can get him away from that and both of them get counseling together, but she doesn't know how to convince him of it, and she's scared if she leaves, the mother's going to influence him to stay there, which she does. She does drugs, and she wants her son there to go get the drugs. And, so it's like, I don't know what to do because we can't keep her here all the time, and it's like, and I don't want to see her homeless, but I know she needs to go to the shelter to get help, to get them in housing. So it's like I don't know how to direct my daughter because I understand where she's coming from, and I understand where the boy's coming from too. In his mind, he's very ADHD. He thinks he needs to stay there for the job. But if he stays there, he's going to be around the mom who's a bad influence. So it's like I don't know how to direct him.
Yeah, it's tough like that, in that kind of a situation. Because often we're the third wheel, and we're looking at the situation. We see it a certain way. They see it a different way. And ultimately, we're not really in control, and there's very little that you can actually do besides try to find options for them. Now, the shelter, hey, that's a good idea. But maybe it's not the only idea. Okay, there might be other possibilities out there, and in the cards, it does show that the situation is hitting rock bottom, and there's nowhere to go but up from there. The Ten of Swords shows up, and that's like one door closing and another door opening, and in the background, the dawn is coming up, the sun's coming up, it's a new day. They're going to be able to extricate themselves from this situation at some point. Right now, it's a lot of Three of Swords energy going on, the sorrow, the grief, and there's three elements going, or more than three elements, but the way I would look at it is, okay, the couple is one of the swords, you're one of the swords, and then the mother is another sword over here, and swords are thoughts and ideas, and so there's all this, everybody's got an idea, and everybody's got, communication going on one way or the other. So, the Lover's card comes up showing that, in general, when people see the Lover's card, and nowadays they think of romantic love and so forth like that. But, tarot is multi-layered. Originally, the Lover's card was a card about choice. And one layer of this is I get the strong indication that they're going to stay together. And it's a very positive card. Things can really work out. Okay? But
right.
Choices need to be made. In the original, or some of the original decks way back hundreds of years ago, what you had was the image of a gentleman and two females. One was older, one was younger. And there was a choice going on. A lot of people looked at it and they saw the analogy of, the older female figure is one of their mothers, and then the younger is the person that they're either married to or want to get married to, and there's this conflict there going on, and it's basically making a choice. In this situation, you got his mother and the two of them, and choice has to be made in order to move forward. They might not need to go to a shelter per se, but they need to go somewhere And when I say that, I'm not just talking about they physically need to move out of that house and they need to physically move somewhere, but they need to go somewhere and get the right information to be able to move forward. And that's showing up here in the form of the Hermit card. And that card shows up when it's someone's either, giving counsel or receiving counsel from somebody. And it's also a card of mediation and stepping back and looking at the big picture, a third party, somebody that's that has better perspective because they're not in the situation. This could be somebody that helps folks that are in this kind of situation, And I know that the shelters have that, but they don't necessarily have to go to the shelter to seek out an individual like that can help them out. They need this third party, somebody that's not his mother, not you, not anybody else that's close to the situation. Somebody that's completely separate from the situation and can have more perspective and has answers, has what help is available and so forth. That's what's showing.
Right.
Up. Yep.
Right. Oh, it's very stressful because I know, she needs to stay out of that house because that woman, is very, oh my gosh. She deliberately pushes her buttons, you know what I mean? And
oh, sure, especially if there's drugs going on and all of that. What about you, Rose? What do you think from a life coaching perspective? I mean, I know extricating yourself from a situation, the first thing people think of is, there are shelters for this. Yeah. Is that the only answer, you say? Is what I'm getting. There's something else.
It's
what do you
think? It's not always the only answer, and you have to do some research to see what's available with people in certain situations. Depends on the state and the county that you live in terms of what's available. But I would agree with you with what you're saying, Dax, is that you need to have a professional that comes in who's trained, who has worked with or in situations like this. As a mother, I can totally. I'm not a mother, but you being a mother, I can totally understand from your viewpoint. You want to be protective of your daughter and her children, and that's your primary concern. And I totally agree with that. At the same time, because you have so many factors going on in that situation, a professional is definitely needed. So your daughter can seek, some kind of assistance in terms of that. Usually they're in your county government. There's like a list of phone numbers where professionals that you can call who can help in situations like that. It's not always a shelter. There may be some other kind of housing that's available. I mean, a lot of times when we think of shelter, we think of like this large room and you have all these cots on the bed and there's a whole lot of people there, kind of thing. Or, but there are also other, I know in some places there are homes where, people can go to and things of that nature. So just do a little research on that. If you want to do that and, just relay that to your daughter, be helpful. It's hard not to feel the emotions, because she's in that situation. But I think the best thing to do is to provide her with resources and say, you might want to look into calling this number. This is, local county hospital. I'm here for you if you need to talk or something like that. But you really need a professional needs to be brought into a situation like that. There's so much, so many things that are going on. Yeah.
Right. Well, God bless y'all. I appreciate you helping me out.
Well, and God bless you too. We'll think, say prayers for you and your daughter and her children and whatnot, and for your family situation. We certainly hope the best that things turn out. Okay.
I need.
Thanks for the call,
so
Michelle.
Much. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining the show, Michelle. And it looks like we are at the end of the show. What do you think, Dax?
We are at the end of the show, and it's interesting too because if you think about it, I did her personal year number first, and when you look at that whole situation and everything, it fits in with a 2 personal year. It's a year about mediation and communication, cooperation, relationships. That's going to be at the forefront, and how you communicate with people when you're in a 2 personal year. And I just love when things, like the synchronicity of it, when it all just lines up and you see, aha, this stuff actually works.
Right.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, this is why it's really, maybe that wasn't like the best. It just shows that, especially in the beginning of the year, knowing what the world year energy is, knowing what personal year number you're in, where are you in the 9-year cycle, and also where are other people? That's another factor too. People that are, close to you, family members, siblings, spouses, children. Where are they in the cycle? And some of the dynamic of what's going on is because, let's say you're in a 2-year, they're in a 5-year, or, something along those lines. And another factor is, we were talking about the high energy of a 5 world year that we're in, and it's that adventurous energy. You want to go ride roller coasters this year, but you don't want to sign contracts. It's not a good year to sign contracts, get married. You could do the preparation to start a business, but it's going to, it's really going to come to full term next year in the 6 energy, Of course, it all depends on where you are in your personal year cycle of 9 years. But it just goes to show you that, she's in that 2 personal year, but then there's that 5 energy. But the other side of the 5 energy is, in numerology, we call it the chaos number, because it has that dual possibility of, you have that high energy and adventurous spirit, but it can spiral down into chaos so quickly and easily, much faster than in another year. Yeah. And so she's in the chaos of the 5 energy in relation to her 2 personal year. You see how that works?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what it is, it's a matter of flipping the coin. It's a matter of getting yourself onto the other side of the energy, making the intention that, no, I'm not going to let it spiral anymore. I'm going to take the high road, which is adventurous and high energy, and use that to go out. And when I say adventurous is, anything where you're exploring or doing research, which is what you were mentioning at the end there about, finding help, finding professionals, and, using this energy and adventurous spirits to explore what the possibilities are out there and not be locked in to one thing. Either they stay there or they go to a shelter. There's infinite more possibilities out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, wow, what a great show. We didn't have a ton of callers, but man, great information. And great calls, the ones we had.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. So I can't wait till next week. We're going to be helping people set their goals for 2021. And yeah, we're going to be in February already, but hey, this is what happens with most people.
Yeah.
If we ask most people out there, what happened in January, probably not much. They probably are still working on setting the goals and getting going with the goals. It's like, yeah, so you decided to quit smoking or lose weight, this year, and it's like, how's that working out for you? Yeah. So we're going to get you back on track next Friday.
Definitely.
Well,
Absolutely.
thanks to all our callers and listeners, and thank you, Rose, for being here.
And thank you, Dax. This is definitely a lot of fun, and hopefully we were able to make a difference and help people, which is why we do the show that we do.
That's what
so
it's all about.
Exactly. We wish everybody a happy and wonderful weekend. And let's start living into what our goals are. What are our goals that we're setting for this year? And come to our show on next Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and let us know what your goals are.
All righty. Bye, everyone. And goodbye, Rose.
Bye,
See you
Dax.
next week.
Bye, everybody. Have a blessed week.